Hey, welcome back. You're in the C Space Studio here at CES 2023. I am James Kotecki, joined by Mike O'Donnell of Vizio. Mike, you are the Chief Revenue and Strategic Growth Officer at Vizio. Welcome to C Space.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. And I love to get people to kind of snapshot their brands for me when we start out some of these conversations.
Sure.
So for those who don't know, how do you explain Vizio for people that you're just meeting here at CES for the first time?
Well, Vizio is a 20-year-old company in which we produce high-quality TVs at a value price. And for 20 years, we've been delivering that great customer experience to our consumers across hardware. And recently, over the past few years, we've built a platform business in which we have our SmartCast operating system directly integrated. So we have both the hardware and the software to provide to our customer base. And over that time, we've been able to bring great value through not just hardware, high quality, high picture quality, great hardware experience, but also now all the content you need, a great UI for search and discovery, as well as free TV through our Watch Free Plus, which is our owned and operated app.
People might not, I think people know the operating system on their phone very well, and they're intimately familiar with that, and when there's an update, they think about that. How much do people notice or think about the operating system on their TV? It's obviously essential to the experience, but how much of what you're designing for is something that people have in the background?
I think when consumers turn on their TV, the operating system is there. It's where they're able to search and discover and find whatever content they want in a streaming environment, right? And I think it's really important today, while it's not top of mind necessarily for a customer, it is becoming more and more important when a consumer goes to buy a television, right? They want to understand, not only are they going to get that great picture quality, right? Not only are they going to get a great hardware television experience that'll last and sit on the wall for 5 to 7 years, which typically it does, but they also want to be able to get all the content they want right there and available. They want to have a great user interface for search and discovery, and I think that's really important. How do you figure out how to navigate the streaming environment in a simple, easy way? And then they also want it to be fast, right? I think that's important.
You're saying you brought free TV onto that platform. Tell me some more about that, where that is and where that's going.
Yeah, so we have an app called Watch Free Plus, and Watch Free Plus delivers over 250 at any given point fast channels that give you a cable-like experience. It's across all different categories, so news, sports, entertainment, reality shows.
So this is all linear TV?
All in a linear, fast environment. And then we also brought in on-demand movies and TV shows. We have today over 6,000 over the past year. So when a consumer buys a Vizio television, take it out of the box, connect it to the internet, they have free television available. Free news, free sports, free reality shows, as well as free movies and TV shows right at their fingertips.
If you could go back in time 20 years, let's say, to the beginning of Vizio, and you say, okay, in the future, there's going to be all these streaming services, there's going to be everything is on demand. Someone might say, well, gosh, that's great. No one's going to want to watch linear TV if they can choose everything they want to on demand. Obviously, you're still seeing some consumer demand for that linear experience, even alongside all these on-demand options. So what is it about the linear experience that keeps people coming back to that, despite the fact that they have other choices?
Yeah, I think for us, the fact that we control both the hardware and the software, we understand the TV is used for a lot of things. It's not just linear, it's not just streaming, it's also for gaming. Right? And that's really important from a hardware perspective to our customers, to be able to provide a great experience there. But what we know from a linear environment is today, streaming is not necessarily easier than cable, right? It's you got to jump back and forth. I'm going to look at things in Netflix, I'm going to look in Watch Free Plus, I'm going to look in Hulu, and I got to jump back and forth. So one of the things that's really important to us is continuing to figure out how we can create a great consumer experience on our home screen. Right when you turn on the television, how do we make sure we're curating and bringing to the fold the content that we know you want to watch, right? And we have a great understanding of what you're doing across all HDMI inputs. How do we source and make that available for you right when you turn on the television? And we think that's critically important. And I think as we see kind of less and less linear TV viewership, the way we'll continue to convert more and more customers into streaming is by giving that great experience for search and discovery.
Let's talk about what you say to advertisers when you're thinking about, when you're pitching them to be a part of this ecosystem. There's so many different ways for advertisers to reach people. We're talking about many of them here in the C Space Studio. Why do you think television is still an important place for them to be?
Well, I mean, look, television still gives you it's the largest, best available screen in the home, right? So you're talking about video ads with sight, sound, and motion, right, on a big, high quality television. But what streaming, or I would say connected TV, does is bring the best benefits of television, right? That sight, sound, motion experience, but with the capabilities of digital, right? So you're talking about the targeting, the addressability, right there. So we can bring both of those benefits together, and we think that's a huge opportunity, or continues to be a huge opportunity for advertisers. And we're seeing more of them shift over into connected television for that reason.
Can you share any examples of innovations in advertising, given connected television's existence, that you've seen or that you're working with right now?
Yeah, I mean, having internet connected to the largest, best available screen brings a lot of capabilities. I think recently we just rolled out a really innovative format for some of our media and entertainment partners. So if you think about the linear to streaming experience, how do we leverage interactivity to enable our consumers to shift quickly between a linear environment and streaming environment? So we rolled out a product called Jump View. Jump View is an interactive overlay that comes on the television. For example, you're watching Fox press release we put out. There was a show called Welcome to Flatch, right? At the end of that show, we put over an interactive overlay that allowed our consumers to jump directly into the Fox Now app, catch up on past episodes, watch future trailers right there. So making that experience seamless is great for the consumers, but it's also a huge benefit to our advertising partners.
Any other thoughts on viewership trends or data that you can share? Anything that stands out to you from what you're seeing here at the beginning of 2023?
Look, I think the trend for fast continues to be really important. I think finding fast enables, again, like we talked about, more and more advertisers to jump into streaming to get that same type of experience where you're getting, large, best available screen, but also targeting capabilities. And for consumers, it's bringing that cable-like experience there. And on a Vizio platform, you're getting it for free.
A lot of this is evolutionary, and we talk about, as I've had these conversations over the years, we talk about the pace that it's happening, and that's often what's most surprising to people. Is there any kind of surprising curveball potential that you see on the horizon? Is there a prediction that you might have for this industry that other people might think is even crazy, but you think might actually happen?
When I think about smart TVs today, smart TVs are really just about streaming. That's how consumers engage and interact with smart televisions. But being that it sits on the wall, it always has power, it's connected to the internet, it's that big, largest, best available screen in the home, we believe down the line there's a lot of opportunities to bring more and more utility, right? To make the television the center of the connected home. And I think over the next few years you'll start to see smart TV manufacturers like ourselves start to bring more utility into the television and move beyond just streaming.
I'm thinking about everyone who's trying to understand and navigate this hybrid world of work that we're in now. Are we working from home? Are we working from the office? Are we using some of our devices some of the time in some places, right? If and when we want. Do you have any thoughts on the future that we're going into? It seemed very clear during the pandemic, obviously what we're doing, we're all staying at home. Now it's kind of like up for debate, right? It's the Wild West. Do you have any thoughts on that future?
With regards to that, I mean, it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict that future. I mean, for us, we saw, obviously from a business perspective, we saw a big boom during COVID and during stay at home in terms of people buying televisions, both for personal use as well as for business use. So that was an interesting opportunity for us that surfaced itself. But for us, I think it's hard to predict. I think all we can do is continue to bring a great consumer experience to our users, continue to source all the best content available, continue to make an easier opportunity for search and discover, and whether people are at work or they're staying at home, they have the benefit of having a great Vizio television.
Fill in the blank for our last question. 2023 will be the year of blank.
Connected TV.
There you go. Can't end it any better than that. Mike O'Donnell, thanks so much for joining us from Vizio.
Thank you very much.
Here in the C Space Studio. And thank you so much for watching us here in the C Space Studio, sponsored by Salesforce here at CES 2023. I'm James Kotecki, and more great conversations are just ahead. Stay with us.